Yeah, I don't have a clever way to intro this. The Odyssey. Yay. There was much rejoicing.
It's the J. Craig Movie Review. Movie Review. A movie with you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the J. Craig Movie Review. I'm Jay, and I and my boys saw the Odyssey the other night, a screening IMAX and a 70mm screening at that. So very excited about that opportunity because as a Christopher Nolan movie, you know you're going to be watching some very good cinema. I mean, there's not very many better filmmakers that are around today. I'm sure you can name a few, but there's not many. I love me some Christopher Nolan. I don't like all of his movies, but he is a master at the craft. So I was a little apprehensive at this movie. For one, the dialogue coming out of more modern day dialogue, they were putting in stuff like, you know, daddy and dad and hey, come on, let's go, you know, stuff that really wasn't said back then. So I kind of don't like that idea, but in the end, it is what it is. You know, it's not my screenplay. And then I also kind of had some issues with some of the cast because I was like, Matt Damon he's a good actor, but he's just not Odysseus, really, especially if you've seen The Return, which I will talk about in a moment. So, at any rate, and then there were some other casting choices. I was just like, wait, why don't we have any Greeks? A lot of white people in this movie, no Greeks. But at any rate, and once the movie started, I didn't give a damn about any of that. It's a fantastic movie. It's a movie, and you're not supposed to care about any of that stuff when it starts, and I didn't. I just watched it and I was marveled at it. It's a fantastic movie. This is a story. It stars Matt Damon. It's written by Christopher Nolan, directed by Christopher Nolan. The original The Odyssey was written by Homer. The story of the Iliad, it tells a tale of the Trojan War, I believe. The Odyssey is just of Odysseus' return back to his land of Ithaca, where he was the ruler of. So he went away with all the men from Troy, from Ithaca, took them to Troy to battle with the king Agamemnon, I believe his name is. And then they were gone for 10 years during this war. Then you know the Trojan horse story. After that Trojan horse story, that ended the war, and Odysseus was able to go home. Him and his men separated from the main group, trying to do their own thing, get away from the king, which he didn't like, and try to get home. And it took him 10 years. So the Odyssey is about that journey. Now, just in Christopher Nolan fashion, it is very nonlinear, so don't expect a straightforward story. It's going to be broken up with a lot of different things. So that's the basis of the story. It stars Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland, Zendaya, John Barenthal, Robert Pattinson. Just throw a name out there, John Leguizamo. There's so many people in this movie, and it's cast very well. Despite my misgivings at first, everyone's fantastic in this movie. I was really a big fan of this movie from start to finish. Once it started, it grabs you, and it's just a very powerful movie, not just because of the action, but because of the tremendous guilt that this character is facing. And that's what, Ralph Fiennes does so well in The Return, which came out a couple years ago. It's about the ending of this movie, the last act of the Odyssey, which is his return home. And when he returns home, the return is about that part of it, and only that part of it. And Ralph Fiennes plays this character so magnificently. I mean, unbelievable! Just the pain, torment, and the suffering that he has been through, and the guilt that he feels, especially by being gone for so long and what's happening. Because while he's been gone and while he's returning home, that's not the only part. That's not the only story we have here. We also have the story of Ithaca without their ruler, without their king, and that's by the queen, and his wife is Anne Hathaway. His son is Tom Holland, who he's never really met because he was just born before he left. So at any rate, that part of the story is also very important because there's no ruler there, and because of that, the kingdom's kind of failing because you got to have a man to rule, right? Of course, we all know that. So there are a bunch of suitors are showing up from all over trying to get her hand, trying to marry so they become the king and get all the wealth. So they show up, they're taking all their food and partying and having a blast, hoping to one up each other to get her attention and get her to marry. But she won't do that. She's waiting for Odysseus. She's waiting for Matt Damon. Matt Damon. So that's the story. There's two different things going on here, and they're both going to, at the end, you're going to have the return, which is the Ralph Fiennes version, which is fantastic. So this movie is absolutely extraordinary. I would highly recommend it. I would highly recommend not listening to any of the negative reviews about a movie that people haven't seen yet. Just buy a trailer or a picture, a still from a trailer, and this movie's going to fail because of this image right here. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Go see the movie, you dweebs, and then have an opinion. You don't have an opinion right now because you haven't seen the movie. You've seen the trailer. All right? Well, I've seen the movie, and it was freaking fantastic. So go see it. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later. Bye.
It's the J. Craig Movie Review. Movie Review. A movie